This is a podcast or something like that. Happy Mother's Day, everybody, and welcome to the Verbal Journal podcast, where I am the mother of this new episode because I am giving birth to it, and let's just say there might be some complications. No? Should I consider not making that joke? Okay. Complications, but then everything went fine after there were complications. Welcome to the podcast where some things are better left unsaid. And some of those things are better left stumbled across after several pauses. So here on episode 63 of the VJP, we're going to be assessing various subject matters for their content, basically. I hope you're doing well if you're listening to this. If you're not, hey, come over here. You know. Life's been good. Life's been good lately. It's a good day. It's a good weekend. You know, fair amount of free time, good amount of socializing, good amount of painting I've been doing. I cleaned my apartment a bunch, which was nice. You know, it's always good to have clean space. I had some good meals. I cooked for myself. I've been doing better with doing dishes. So I've been like making sure to do dishes every day, not letting my dishes sit too long. And you know, it's a fair amount of work when you're cooking like 2 meals a day for yourself. You know, it's like you make a lot of freaking dishes. Jesus Christ. So, you know, it's important to get those done. So I've just been feeling, you know, kind of more good about my space, in control of my vibes. Work's been good, seeing clients, some good appointments. Friend stuff's been good. Yeah, you know, I've seen, you know, a few of my friends in the last week. That's been nice. And I'm here today to talk about, you know, just whatever. We've been, I guess these intros are pretty bad if you think about it from like a drawing people in perspective. But that's the thing about a podcast. You don't have to worry about that, you know, or I don't. Okay, I just had some water. If you hear me pause, just pause. Just do your own thing. Just do some other stuff. If I'm pausing, don't just wait around 5 seconds for me to start talking. You know, start a task. You know, join a organization of some kind. Just make yourself useful in so many words. So it's Mother's Day. Let's just kind of let's cut to the chase here. It's fucking Mother's Day, and holy shit, I am hung over from some Mother's Day parties I've been going to. Last night it was crazy. I mean, it's been all week, but it kind of culminates in Mother's Day Eve, obviously. Didn't I do a live stream on Mother's Day Eve last year? Right? Because I talked about that, and it was like Arrested Development. I made that reference. Let me check. Czechoslovakia. So this would be. Would it be this? Would it be the Guess What I Watched stream? Hold on, no wait, because it would have been. Hold on. It would have been, no, that would have been after Mother's Day. Oh, no, that's February 3rd, 2023. Whoops. Oh, of course, right, because it's in between January when I decided to watch Breaking Bad and May when I put out the video. February 3rd was when I finished watching Breaking Bad, and I did a live stream to announce it, which was kind of funny to do it that way. Do a live stream just talking about watching it, and then, you know, really, and basically, actually, this was something I very consciously did. I must have mentioned this somewhere, but like, I had a Google Doc for that live stream, and it was a lot of times things that just didn't fit into the video script. I guess my part. Oh wait, sorry, my not part one. Yeah, my video script. Stuff that didn't fit into the Breaking Bad video script. Sorry, I just get confused. I did so much projects on this. So was it the next stream after I released the video with even more stuff that hadn't gotten brought up? Is that the Mother's Day Eve stream? YouTube is like, oh, there it is. Okay. May 13th, 2023. Yep, that's got to be it, right? Hold on. Mother's Day 2023. It must be May 14th. May 12th. Sunday, May 12th. 2024. I asked 2023. See, that's rare for people to be looking up last year's Mother's Day. Like on current Mother's Day. Google's like, you're not looking for that. Come on. It's not even telling me? Here we go. Okay, May 14th. Yeah, okay. Right? Wait, is that what it says? Wait, just cut to ads? Before you leave, check this out. I wasn't leaving. What the hell? I was looking at your website. Stop. Mother's Day is an integral part of American culture. Consumers spent $35 billion. Okay, yeah, May 14th, 2023. So I am correct. I did my post Breaking Bad video on Mother's Day Eve. And now I'm doing episode 63 of the Verbal Journal podcast on Mother's Day. So that's kind of just some interesting synchronicity, which is the word of the day. That's right. We're introducing a new segment, word of the day. So that was in communication with several advertisers. We're trying to nail these really big ads. There's some opportunities coming up the pike for the Verbal Journal podcast. Huge advertisers like dictionaries and universities and because so apparently word of the day, if I do a word of the day segment, I think that will help overall. Is basically the thinking here. So word of the day, synchronicity. I guess I should say what it means, right? So synchronicity means, I guess I don't want to look it up because that's plagiarizing. So synchronicity means the experience of oneness with time, I believe is what it means. I was joking about advertisers, obviously, probably, but I have thought about that. Like, it would be kind of interesting to just, see this podcast actually develop into, like, a legit podcast. Like, I was thinking about this, actually. So it's episode 63. I was thinking, what if I did more public episodes? What if I did 2 public episodes a month? And then 2 private episodes a month. And I guess if you're a supporter, you might be like, no, I pay you $1 a month, How dare you do that, Or, some people give $5 or $10 a month, but the majority give $1 a month. So I don't really feel bound. And even if you give $5 or $10 a month, I don't know, 2 episodes for $5 or $10, that's not a horrible deal, So I feel okay morally. I feel okay legally about it. And what I want to do is what if, I don't know, this, this podcast, there are a lot of creators, as we call ourselves, because we create. There are a lot of creators who just go podcast mode. It's actually hard to think of a creator who hasn't. I'm trying to, I guess Abigail Thorne, Philosophy Tube, she hasn't done it. I mean, she's become an actor, though, so she has something else taking up a lot of her time. Creators will do something else Dan Olsen, he doesn't have a podcast, right? Or, H Bomber guy doesn't have a podcast. I don't know. I mean, a lot of people don't. So people will use the live streaming format sometimes to get that similar vibe out. Because in a sense, this is live streaming, but it's just not live. I mean, I've joked about that, but there is some truth to it in the sense that, obviously the unedited nature is there's a lot of synchronicity between that and, between live streaming and podcasting in that sense. That's not the right use of synchronicity. So what that was is that was a exhibition of a wrong way to use the word of the day. So I'm thinking that that's an important part of word of the day segments that is often lacking. Oh, it's nice to know the meaning of the word. It's nice to know how to use it. I need to know how not to use it. I need to know, the way that if I use it that way, people will kind of know. Smart people will know, and dumb people will be convinced, and I'll have more dumb people who like me. So you know what I mean? It's a bad situation. There it was wrong because I said synchronicity where I was talking about qualities, a quality of a thing rather than the time when it occurred, I'm talking about the similarities between podcasting and live streaming. It doesn't have to do with that, you know what I mean? So it may be verisimilitude could maybe be a good word for that if we wanted to use another big word. Let me look that up really quick. Verisimilitude. I'm not going to read out the definition, obviously, because that would be plagiarism. No, that is not the right word to use either, because that has to do with things seeming true or real, not just being comparable. So maybe you just shouldn't try to use big words, sometimes. But anyways, that was not how to use synchronicity. So stay tuned for more correct ways to use synchronicity, potentially. Maybe. We're not sure. Maybe nothing will come up, Anyways, the synchronicity of I just used a word immediately. Okay, so yeah, all I'm saying is it would be kind of interesting to have the podcast become more popular. Not like hugely popular, but I guess I'm just kind of wondering, what's the potential here? Is it just what it's been, or I don't know. I mean, this is episode 63. I've really kept this up for close to a year and a half now. And it's I don't know, maybe it doesn't provide much value though. And so maybe every 2 episodes, maybe 1 episode a month. Yeah, maybe 1 episode a month public would be a good idea. Maybe 2 is too many probably. Yeah, cuz the thing is it's not that good, So you have to factor that in. Okay, so we got Mother's Day, we got Word of the Day. Our big segment this week, what we're going to talk about is the Kendrick and Drake beef. You may have heard about the beef between rap artist Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Frickin' Drakerson? Yeah. And you've probably heard people talk about this, or you don't care, basically. This is that I guess those are the 2 options at this point, because it's been over a week since it's been going on. And it sort of started slowly, if you don't really know. I believe it's besides the real long history of it, it was a few weeks ago, Kendrick Lamar featured on some song, made some slight comments about how he was the best. I think he had just recently turned down doing a feature on a song with Drake and J. Cole or something, and so it was sort of whatever. So and then J. Cole spoke out, made his own song, and then he bowed out of the beef because he is J. Cole's he's he's got some wisdom about him, and he's he knows I just don't really want to be a part of this. It's kind of negative. I like J. Cole's music for sure. I don't like all of it, and I think his voice sometimes does become kind of grating to me, and I don't really. Sometimes it becomes preachy, and it's not up my alley. But I think he does a lot of really good stuff, and he's very talented, of course. And he has, he does do experimental sort of boundary pushing flow and interesting music production as well, and sort of theme albums like KOD was interesting. That's sort of the one I've listened to most by J. Cole. But some of his older stuff and his hits are really good. Oh my God, the the song with the George Bush sample where he's they fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you fooled, you can't get fooled again. I mean, that's like that song is so good by Drake. I mean, and that just yeah. Um, but did I just see Drake? Sorry, I was looking at my Google Doc by J. Cole. Anyways, regarding Drake, I don't listen to Drake. I mean, obviously he has some hits that are good that, you can't be like, but I've never really listened to his music. I've never gone and sought out one of his albums. I understand he makes albums. I just like have not been curious, and, I understand he's like I don't know. It just doesn't. He's a talented musician. It doesn't seem like. I guess to people who really love his music, he probably speaks a lot of deep truths. But to me, it just feels more superficial, and I really don't like his voice as well. And voice is a huge. This is just kind of the thing, I said J. Cole's voice becomes great. I haven't thought that really before, but that's true when I think about it. It's just like a voice. Kendrick Lamar, I'd say one of the defining things about him, and one of the things that made me immediately fall in love with his music when I first heard it, which was To Pimp a Butterfly, listening all the way through, my friend showing me it on a nice sound system and just listening to the album all the way through. What won me over to him was the quality of his voices, the variety of his voices. He does so many different voices, and he really can make his voice sound so interesting. And like the way he sings on the song You on To Pimp a Butterfly, and the way he changes into, I guess, almost a falsetto-ish, and you're the reason I'm leaving. I'm not trying to make fun, I'm not trying to do an actual, because I can't do a good approximation. And you're the reason that I'm leaving. You're the reason that mom and I'm leaving. He does that. It's so fucking cool. If you're a fan of Kendrick Lamar, you just cringed at how annoying it was to hear me do that. But I'm sorry. I should have warned you. That was abrupt. But, and you're the reason that mom and I'm leaving. And you're the reason. It's just very, very interesting what he does with his voice, let alone the sound production, the composition of the songs, the overall experimental nature of the instrumentals used, and the unbelievably good beats. On songs like Hood Politics, or oh my God, it falls together. I don't know the technical difference between hip hop and rap. To me, it's just a feeling. I guess there's probably a historical difference and a material difference, and but there's also so much overlap. So I don't really know, and I'm not going to try to define it, but because that's not the word of the day. But to me, I associate Kendrick Lamar as more of a hip hop artist. Drake, I see him more as a pop artist who does rap hip hop on his songs as well. And J. Cole I see as a hip hop artist for sure as well. It just has to do with the feel of the songs. I don't know. I feel like Drake's songs are a little bit more up tempo. Maybe they're not. I don't know that he has the same feel, but so anyway, so Kendrick did that, said his lines, and J. Cole did what he did. Drake, I guess, I don't know. Apparently there's allegations that behind the scenes he tried to get that song taken off the air and stuff that Kendrick did with whoever else. I'm sorry, I'm not following every moment, but I've listened to a lot of commentary on the stuff that came after, and I've listened to the songs. I actually didn't listen to them when they first came out. I didn't get even involved in the beef. Not that I got involved in the beef. I didn't get involved in the beef at all. Let's just be clear about that. So, yeah, I don't want there to be any misunderstanding about that. But I didn't listen to any of the songs until Not Like Us, which was Kendrick's last song. And, I mean, I don't believe Drake's... wait, I'm sorry. Drake obviously did respond to Not Like Us, but I don't believe Kendrick has responded to Drake's response. So it was Kendrick's last song, Not Like Us, in this beef, and it was extremely good. And if you know anything about the beef, you probably know the song. I listened to it. I was stretching, lying on my floor, and I was like, pulled up Spotify on my phone, and I was like, oh, I should listen to one of these songs. I wasn't super interested. I just wasn't super interested. You know what I mean? Like, but I love Kendrick Lamar's music, so I was like, okay, like let me see. But usually it's like beef songs. They're not always as good. I don't know. Like sometimes they're good. Personally, like this is I guess its whole other subject. Like, despite all the criticisms that we could go into, I do also have a fondness for Eminem. I'm not saying I endorse everything he says and does, but I appreciate a fair percentage of Eminem's music a lot, and I have for many years. And he doesn't have that many beef songs that I know of, but like his beef song with Machine Gun Kelly, I mean, if you can call it beef, it's not beef. It's just, it's a unidirectional assassination after Machine Gun Kelly like said something about his daughter. I thought that song was really good, but Eminem is extremely talented and can do absolutely brilliant stuff. My favorite stuff with Eminem also has to do with how he can change his voice around. Like he's good with the angry, or like whatever petulant rapper vibe, but he's also, his singing voice, not that it's like the voice, his singing, the way his voice sounds when he sings, Eminem, can be really beautiful sometimes, I think, just when he's so sincere. And it's the same thing with Kendrick Lamar. There's this sincerity, like just this authenticity that I guess that people say that so much, it's just a cliche, but, and like, how can I say Drake is not authentic? Like, I don't know. I could probably do like a textual analysis and like explain why he's not authentic, but I don't know off the top of my head. It just, I don't get that same feeling. It's, like, I don't know, this is a weird way to put it, but if someone asks how you're doing and you're having a good day and you say, I'm having a good day, you're giving a true answer, but it's not deep, so it's not as meaningful, so maybe it doesn't feel as authentic. So Drake can be saying things about his life that are true, but it could still just be not as deep. I just don't know that he's as deep. I don't know. And I mean, Eminem's just been through so much shit. I mean, I'm sure they've all been through a lot of stuff, but like, I don't know. It's just different. Kendrick Lamar's music is I would say Kendrick Lamar is a more like his output is superior on some levels to Eminem's. A lot to do with instrumentation, and that's just my personal taste. So when I say superior, I just sort of mean from my personal taste. But lyrically, which I guess is the main thing to compare them, I don't know how you compare one to the other. I mean, I don't know how you compare. They're both incredibly, amazing. I don't know how you compare. Like, Eminem is a little bit more of like a virtuoso, almost like show off, I think, with his lyricism. And always has like more of a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. And he does prove it usually. Kendrick, it comes off more effortless and, yeah, I don't know. I guess as far as how deep they are, it depends. They're probably equal. They both, dabble in superficial stuff too, as everyone does, because we're superficial creatures as much as we're deep creatures. Anyway, so that's sort of my vague impressions. So basically, I listened to Not Like Us and I was like, wow, this is good. And then, for reasons we'll get into, like he literally alleges that Drake has committed sexual abuse against minors. And these are allegations that have come up before with Drake, and there are specific allegations. But Kendrick Lamar literally says that in so many words, extremely explicitly. And so I was listening, I'm like, whoa, I missed a lot. You know what I mean? And I'd seen like one thing online, so I had like sort of known that there were allegations like that came in this thing. But I was like, whoa, okay. So, and it was a good song too. I liked it. It's still not that good. And even like Eminem's song about Machine Gun Kelly, like it's not like in my top 20 favorite Eminem songs. Like, it's not even close. You know what I mean? So probably not even top 30 or 40. Like, it's just, beef is just not that interesting. And, talk about deep, it's not that deep. Usually, like, okay, he insulted Eminem's daughters. So, like, Eminem was, tore him apart. Like, cool. That's just not that interesting at the end of the day. Here we have substantial allegations and Drake. So Drake came out with, what he did is he released his songs, and Not Like Us was after like 2 or 3 Drake songs, against Kendrick, and they were horrible. I mean, they were terrible. Like, so one of the Drake songs was fairly good. I believe it was called Family Matters. It was his second to last song, I think. Not the one he made that was like mostly like, I'm not a pedophile, I'm so famous, I couldn't get away with that. But it was the one before that where he is accusing Kendrick Lamar of physically assaulting his partner. And again, neither of these songs, it's not like they're giving evidence. They're just saying these things. And that has surfaced once before. I don't know if it was his partner. I haven't done all the deep dive, but sometime years ago, there came up allegations that Kendrick Lamar had physically assaulted a woman. I don't remember if it was his partner at the time, who the allegations were related to, but they were never substantiated as far as I understand. And so, I don't know what the truth is, obviously, but I'm just trying to give you my understanding of the situation. But anyways, Drake's songs were so bad. I mean, Family Matters had some really, really good flow in it. I'll speak to that in a second. But the ones before that were so bad, and a lot of Family Matters was bad too. But like, I mean, the first one or whatever, the one where Drake's like talking about Kendrick's musical output and he's insulting his musical. He's like saying that his albums aren't that good, and like, I mean, it's like, I don't know what room you find yourself in where that would be something that like people would agree with. Like, it's like, you're entitled to your opinion, but like, you're saying that really confidently about Kendrick Lamar, who like a lot of people agree actually his albums are incredibly good. So like, what are you talking about? And then there's these things that are really pathetic where Drake's like, trying to insult that Kendrick Lamar tries to have deeper music. He says Kendrick Lamar is trying to free the slaves with his music, like literally making fun of Kendrick Lamar for for like being a liberatory sort of force, or like attempting to try to be in any way liberatory. Really just talk about cynical. Just like, I mean, that's dark. You're gonna mock someone. You're going to mock like a leading voice of a generation for like trying to be liberatory. Like, what? That's kind of a red flag. I mean, it's not like Kendrick Lamar is actually like being so, well, I want to say he's not being so pretentious as to trying to free the slaves. Of course, he's not viewing his music in that way. Obviously, rappers talk themselves up, and there's a lot of ego in it where it's like, I'm the shit, but that's not the same as like thinking you're capable of like liberating mankind, But yeah, he does call himself like, he does compare himself, I think, to like Nelson Mandela and like Martin Luther King. Right? He says like Martin had a dream, Kendrick have a dream. Like, I mean, but like, I don't know, like, like rappers also compare themselves to Pablo Escobar. Like, I'd rather they compare themselves to Nelson Mandela or like, Martin Luther King. Like, it just feels so corny to make fun of Kendrick Lamar for this. I just don't understand like how that, yeah. I mean, if someone has to be so stupid to agree with that. So anyways, what I was saying before is like Drake's rapping is really good on Family Matters. I believe it was, I sort of lost track. It was like his third song or whatever in the series, but whatever. It was second to last one, the second or third one. And Family Matters, so it's like this like 6 or 7 minute song. It's like this long, odyssey with like multiple parts and beat changes and stuff. And what I just, I don't listen to a lot of Drake. So, I don't know for sure like how good Drake is in most of his songs. I did read a Pitchfork article about this whole rap battle that I thought was quite a good article, actually. I didn't really agree with it at first, and it kind of won me over. It was just a very negative view of the beef, basically saying no one wins in this situation for reasons I'll get to. But, or just, I don't have to get to the reasons. Basically because making such serious allegations while not substantiating them in something so sort of somewhat silly, like despite the serious things that have related from rap beefs. Like rap beefs are sort of entertainment, and in a sense, like it's really not the place. It's almost like weaponizing people's like trauma in a way to be bringing this stuff up in this way. There's probably other ways to bring up these allegations, and it's just like it's kind of not the vibe. And I think a lot of people feel that way about Kendrick. And I sort of wish he didn't do this whole thing. He did not have to prove himself to Drake. It's not even, that's why I didn't listen to the song. There's no comparison. I don't know anyone who's like, who's a better rapper, Kendrick or Drake? It's like, that's just like a meme. So it's kind of surreal that he actually did do this, Kendrick Lamar. But I think he really hates Drake. And you talk about how he, changes his voice. Like one of these songs, he's just doing the coolest voices, in Not Like Us, I believe, or no, was it even in some of the earlier songs? He does some very interesting voices. But anyways, so whatever. So Drake rapped really well on Family Matters, and this Pitchfork article agreed with me. It says Drake's third verse on Family Matters might be the smoothest rap flow he's caught since the IYRTITL days. I don't know what that is. I don't listen to his music. I don't know what the acronyms stand for. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. For all I know, that stands for I yearn really, totally, in total life. All right, I'm going to delete that microphone sound 1 sec. Okay, I didn't delete it, but I lowered the volume. Okay, so so anyways, Drake's really good rapping, I think, is kind of significant, because at first he didn't do it. His rapping was not good in the first diss track, but he got his rapping to be quite good. And it's just, it's just the flow being complicated, but like not, too like just, complicated. Like the flow being interesting, and like the rhythm of it being interesting. He really actually gets it to be interesting, which ironically, and I feel like this is like the most kind of deep part of it, because you have to sort of wonder, like, why did Drake do this? I mean, we could talk about why did Kendrick do this, because it was so unnecessary, as I said, but why did Drake do this? Like, I mean, he's really so full of himself that he thought this was gonna go well for him. Like, the only way this goes well for Drake is Kendrick never responds, and in a way, like, maybe Drake can spin that into a victory. So, like, maybe he was hoping that would happen. I don't know. It sort of seemed like he was kind of, goading Kendrick into making a whole diss track or something. I don't really know exactly. But you have to wonder why Drake did this, because it seems quite strange. Like, even if you don't want to say Kendrick is the greatest of all time, like, it seems like he's not the guy to go out of your way to say that his music is not good. You know what I mean? Like, didn't Drake do this whole, Kendrick mentioned this on one of his songs, that Drake did this with Pusha T, and then, here, let me read the Kendrick line. Hold on. Kendrick, Pusha, Drake, beef, lyric. Let's see. Oh, it's in Euphoria. I think it's in Euphoria. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, here it is. Hold on. Kendrick, Euphoria lyrics. Wow, a lot of typos. Okay, it worked. And then let's see, what did he say? Because Drake did this whole beef with Pusha T, and it ended up with him being called out for not acknowledging that he has a child that he has, and just kind of looking bad in the beef. And I don't really like Pusha T for reasons I don't feel like getting into. Fine, I have to get into it if I'm. So I listened to a lot of Pusha T. I liked his album that Kanye produced in like 2017 or something. And I listened to it a lot over and over, like the EP, like the 6-song thing. It was really good. Some of his lyrics strike me as strange. But anyways, I do think he's got an amazing, talk about effortlessness. Like he really just kind of, it feels like it's just falling out of him, like the lyrics in it. And it's almost, honestly, this is a crazy comparison, but it reminded me of like Emily Dickinson sometimes, like the sort of off rhyme that he would do. And it just like, he would kind of do whatever he wants and it works. And, personally, I don't care about, he lacks so much of the introspection that Kendrick Lamar has. It's like, it's not even comparable. And it's like, oh, cool, man. Yeah. You sold drugs. Like, that's awesome. Like, you should make another song about that. That's really cool. I also really don't understand if I heard that lyric correctly, but let me look it up before I say. He has a lyric in one of his songs where he says, letting the jewels talk. Okay. Fuck. I thought it was I let the Jews talk. Okay. Pusha T texts. Yeah. He said that Kanye West's anti-Semitic comments were disappointing. Yeah, maybe I totally misunderstood that lyric. So good. He doesn't have a weird line with the word I let the Jews talk in it. He says I let the jewels talk. Okay, that makes sense. That's funny that I heard that wrong. He does have a line where he says, hold on, I just haven't thought about this in a while, so I'm like having to recall it. It's good morning, Matt Lauer. Can I hold on? What does he say? Hold on. Wait, is it Matt Is that the guy's name? Matt Lauer. Pusha T lyric. Good morning, Matt Lauer. Yeah, hear it. Yeah, okay. He says, okay, here's the line. Yeah, I mean, okay, so never trust a bitch who finds love in a camera. She will fuck you, then turn around and fuck a janitor. Set the parameters. You're either with the pro bowlers or the amateurs. Like, that's really great lyricism, but I gotta say, it's kind of makes me raise my eyebrow. And like, at the end of the day, like, I just don't know. That's just never trust a bitch who finds love in a camera. Okay, man. Thanks, man. You know, I don't know. It's not like a message that I find. But anyways, the lyrics that come next are the ones I was bringing up. Okay, I'm just giving you the context. I won't let you ruin my dreams or Harvey Weinstein the kid. Good morning, Matt Lauer. Can I live? So he's talking about being with a woman who I guess is superficial. And he says, you're either with the pro bowlers or you're either with the pro ballers or the amateurs. I won't let you ruin my dreams or Harvey Weinstein the kid. Good morning, Matt Lauer. Can I live? Obviously, Matt Lauer being someone who also had allegations of sexual assault. I don't remember the exact circumstances, but so that's an interesting line, right? Because it seems like he's saying, like, using Harvey Weinstein as a verb to talk about someone bringing allegations of sexual assault and harassment to against someone seems like you're taking the side of the person having allegations brought against them. So maybe I'm misunderstanding, but lyrics like that made me sort of like be like, okay, man, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if I really trust your judgment here, but he does have amazing poetic skills. And yeah, so anyways, that was a huge diversion. But yeah, one of those songs on that same EP, he decimated Drake. And so I don't know why Drake would be like, well, now I'll go after Kendrick. Like, he's really punching out of his weight class in both situations, but especially in this one. It's just like, I don't know how you do this. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting psychologically, but his good rapping, and this is my whole point, his good rapping, okay? So why would Drake do this? And then he ends up really, really rapping well on one of the songs. He's doing this because this is a way to motivate himself. Like, you'll hear it when other artists do a song with Kendrick. Like Kanye, actually. His song, No More Parties in LA, right? He raps a lot better than he normally does. Kanye West normally does not push himself technically as a rapper. But he does on that song. And this is my opinion. He does on that song because he's with Kendrick Lamar and he's motivated to try. Because Kendrick is as much as I said he's sort of effortless and doesn't have something to prove like Eminem, he still does have something to prove. It's just different than Eminem. But Kendrick does overperform technically as well in a good way. And he's really, so people in his presence are like, okay, I'm going to give it a shot, you know? And so Drake really clearly is inspired by Kendrick Lamar, is the fucking irony, this whole thing. And they really just should have left it, like, a lot of this beef was appropriate. A lot of it was fine. Even the stuff, whatever, that I don't, you know, I'm not going to weigh in on Kendrick Lamar saying Drake, you know, is cringy when he says the N-word. You know what I mean? I don't have an opinion on that. But that's okay for a beef. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have an opinion on whether it's true or false, but I have an opinion on that's rap beef appropriate. That's rap beef appropriate. That's like hardcore even. Like, you're going to fucking tell him he can't say the N-word? Like, okay, like, let's leave it there. I don't know if we should make allegations of like sexual assault and sexual abuse of minors in a diss track. So I thought that was really not cool. Like, in a way, I just really think it's inappropriate and it weaponizes people's trauma, and I don't like it. I really don't like it from Kendrick. Drake, I just have, you know, I would never expect any more. So for him to make wild claims and not back them up, and I mean, you know, I just don't care. I don't expect any better from him. I will say his follow-up song about how he definitely is not a pedophile because he's way too famous. That's literally a line in the song, so he could never get away with it. It's just, I mean, it's a horrible song. Obviously, that's a terrible argument to make. His rapping is so low energy on that song. It is the worst rapping I've ever heard. His voice sounds horrible. Oh my God. How do people listen to that guy? But that song is terrible. It's like, wow, dude. But yeah, he says, quote, "This Epstein angle was the shit I expected." Like, how do you write that line, dude? And then apparently he planted fake information about having a daughter in Kendrick's camp, so Kendrick would talk about it. So apparently some people who, you know, have credible opinions on this stuff believe that that's possible. Drake did actually do that. So I don't know whether he did or he didn't. That doesn't matter. That's extremely weird to do and really weird, like really, again, very cynical. Like I was talking about earlier, like Drake being cynical by saying Kendrick is trying to liberate everyone and that's a bad thing. Like, this is very cynical to like be, he's doing a disinformation campaign. That's like hyper normalization shit. Like he's literally doing a disinformation campaign rather than just like, wouldn't you just do a beef without that if you thought you could like just do a beef? Like that's just so bizarre, dude. Okay, you don't have the daughter then. I don't know, like what? Cool, but you remember that you did have a kid get exposed by your previous beef, right? So like, is this really that big of a dub to be like, well, I actually didn't have a kid exposed by this beef? Okay, and that's the end of me talking about the beef. That was great. I think I had a great time explicating my perspectives on that, and I hope you enjoyed getting them explicated. I'm sorry, that's not the word of the day. I shouldn't be using big and interesting words if they're not the word of the day. You're right, synchronicity. You're right. I'm letting explicate kind of show you up there, and that's on me. And I totally get that, because the juxtaposition of those two. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, so I didn't say it earlier, but I do think I'm going to make this episode public. So if you're listening from the public, hello. And welcome to the Verbal Journal. You can listen to more by becoming a member of the YouTube channel and then checking out the members page and then clicking on the episodes that have come before this. You can also sign up at the Patreon if you use Patreon, patreon.gov. You can sign up at the Patreon for What's Therapy. It's kind of a complicated thing. Verbal Journal, we're affiliated with What's Therapy Corp. Here at Verbal Journal, we're a subsidiary. So you basically sign up through the What's Therapy Corp Patreon, and then you get access to the Verbal Journal addendums. So next up that was just the main segment. Usually there's not like a main segment that I talk about for so long. Usually there's like 3 sort of like half-assed, like really weird, like barely passable segments. Like one of them's like an article from like 10 years ago that I just stumbled across and like no one is interested in. But today we had like a solid actual segment. That was like, wow. So that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like maybe if I do one public episode a month, I'll be more motivated to kind of push myself, really achieve more, and forget the YouTube channel. Who watches video essays anymore? It's all about podcasts, So next up we have, and if you're from the channel, welcome. You like segments, right? I talk about segments in my videos. A lot of people love segments. I get a lot of comments about the segment stuff. A lot of them. So here we have a segment. We have a lot of segments. You're in for the rest of the podcast right now is all segments. Okay. So did you just get very excited or what? Cause guess what? There's like a lot of segments coming up. First up is the Grinds My Gears segment. This is where I talk about things that grind my gears, which is when they bother me, basically. And we have a two-parter today. So you are in for a treat. This is a 2-part, not 2 Grinds My Gears things, but a 2-part. Well, yeah, it is 2 things that grind my gears within one segment, basically, is what we're here for. Okay, two different things. Okay, so the first thing that grinds my gears is friends who don't respond to text messages. You know what I'm saying? You ever know those people that just don't respond to text messages? That's the worst. Am I right? Okay. And part 2, okay, so that's part 1. Part 2 of the grinds my gears segments, friends who always respond to text messages. And then, because that actually, you would think that's good based on part 1. That's actually not good because then when they don't, you have to be like, oh, come on, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, why, like, are they mad at me? Like, did I do something wrong? Like, really? You don't want to respond to that? Like, but it was just a normal question. You know what I mean? And that's their fault for always being so consistent. So that's actually a really huge problem as well and really grinds my gears. People, it's just, don't be so consistent. Because then when you inevitably mess up, as we all do sometimes, it'll be that much more confusing because you're so consistent usually. So those are my 2 grinders. So next up is the chess segment, which is an optional segment. This is an optional segment, and last week I did make history by deferring the chess segment for the first time in history. Is that right, Reginald? Reginald's the data guy here. Okay. Yeah, it is. No, yeah, I already knew that. You're saying you don't want to tell me again because you already told me this on the last episode. Okay. I know. I thought it would be a fun way to introduce you to the public. Okay. So I have a guy, Reginald, here on the staff at Verbal Journal, subsidiaries, and, he is the data guy. So he gets all the data about things and will share that with me. And usually he's a little bit more friendly and polite. He doesn't talk on the podcast, but he's usually more polite to me. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Anyways, I'm not going to defer the chess segment, so write that down in your frickin' journal, Reginald. I'm going to talk about chess because I have great news. So I play chess, and I play usually just online these days. I play just, blitz chess where you have 3 minutes or 5 minutes a side. But I also play a lot of bullet chess where you have 1 minute per side, and often I play bullet chess with no increment. So you just have 1 minute, and if you run out of time, you run out of time. There's no added time each move. It's just you have 1 minute. That's an incredibly short amount of time to play a game of chess. You are clicking fastidiously. I'm sorry, synchronicity. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't even know if it's it's just a good word. You're clicking a lot, and you are sometimes pre-moving even. So you're clicking a lot, and sometimes you're winning on time when you have a much losing position, and sometimes you're losing on time when you have a much winning position. But it's fun, and it gets the adrenaline rushing. It's quite fun. I like, and I broke 1800 as my rating for the first time in bullet chess this past Sunday night after recording the podcast. Actually, the previous episode 62. I broke 1800, which it's funny it's hard to be like, oh, that's a good rating. Like, it's all relative, but it's always been the ones where, like, when I broke 1600, when I broke 17, it's always the same feeling where it's like, whoa, now I have that number that the people who beat me used to have. You know what I mean? So it's always kind of relative, these ELO ratings, but it is very cool to break 1800. And I really stayed above 1800. Right now, am I above it? I've really gone up and down above it all week. So I've been really, I'm right now currently 1817 bullet. It's been great. I've been playing a lot of bullet games. Lee chess is so great. I played 19 bullet games yesterday and went up 26 points in ratings on 11 wins, 1 draw, and 7 losses. Thank you, Reginald. Reginald is just reading it off of Lee chess. He didn't actually gather this data. What? I'm being honest. You didn't gather this data. I'm not going to give you credit. You're just reading it off of Lee chess's website. May 10th, I played 23 bullet games and I went up 9 ELO on 12 wins and 11 losses. May 9th, I played 13 bullet games. I went down 12 ELO on 5 wins, 1 draw, and 7 losses. May 8th, I played 30 bullet games and I went down 28 points to 1794 on 12 wins and 18 losses. And May 7th, I played 30 bullet games and went down 9 ELO on 15 wins, 15 losses. Wow. The day before, I played 41 bullet games on May 6th, went up 48 points on 24 wins, 1 draw, and 16 losses. That's a good day. So I like bullet chess, and I'm happy to be breaking new ground and improving. It's kind of weird, and I should just play regular blitz because it really, the time factor is too much of a thing. It gets in if you want to improve your chess, you don't want to be playing bullet that much because you're winning on just, it's not always about the chess with bullet. So anyways, that's really exciting. Next up, we have a section of segments. This is the desks section. So this is where we talk about the desks, the different desks of the episode, of the podcast, I'm sorry. First up is the media desk. Is that the first one we're doing today? We got an article? Do we have an article? Rare pictures of Hitler emerge from glass photo negatives like parts of a puzzle. This is an article from 5 years ago. Heinrich Hoffmann, Hitler's sidekick photographer, chronicled the early days of the Nazis. This is what we have to talk about on the media desk segment? You're kidding. I'm not talking about that. Okay, Hitler had a photographer. I'm not talking about that. Okay. Next up is the workers' rights desk. This is a new desk. This has not been one of the desks before, but sometimes I'll find something I want to talk about and I'll be like, what desk is that? And there's no desk for it. So we create a desk here. That's something I'm able to do through the union here at Verbal Journal Corp subsidiary. Here we have workers' rights desk. We have chess player Abhimanyu Mishra, who is the youngest grandmaster of all time. He's an American. He's currently 15, but he became the youngest ever grandmaster ever in world chess history. And he beat people who, by the way, had potentially sometimes cheated and bought norms and paid for games to get grandmaster faster, off the record. But, Abhimanyu Mishra is like the brightest talent of American chess. He is absolutely amazing, and he has his email in his Twitter bio. So that's, he's foolhardy youngster. But he did tweet, and he said, at FIDE Chess, which is the chess organization, is there a technical reason not to enforce a 15 to 30 minutes delay while broadcasting the game? I've been playing a big open event with absolute 0 broadcast delay. The organizer mentioned that FIDE doesn't enforce it. So when he's saying that, and he tags 2 other chess organizations, 2 big ones, he's saying, why are you broadcasting the games live? Because that could very much make it possible for people to cheat. And he was playing in this big Dubai tournament that also my favorite player, Vladislav Artemiev, has been playing in. Is it going on today? No, is it over? I think it's over. Now, where do I find it now that it's over? Here. Okay, here we go. Let's see how Artemiev did. I love that guy, Vladislav Artemiev. The Dubai Police Global Chess Challenge Masters. I've never seen this before. I think this chess tournament was sponsored by the police. I've never seen that before. A major, it's almost super tournament. Hans Niemann did quite well, actually. Is it over? Yeah, how did he do? He might have... Did he win? Hans Niemann obviously is a chess player who sued Nakamura and Magnus Carlsen and Chess.com because he didn't want to admit to his past cheating, even though he had been called out when he potentially wasn't cheating. He didn't want to admit to his past cheating. Oh no, he didn't win, but he got 6.5 points out of 9. Great job. He tied for, or no, he got 5th. No, he got 7th, which, that's really great. Wow. First 4 were Indian players. I don't even know these guys. Wow, they're fucking taking over. 4, and then 3 of them are under 18. Oh my gosh. Artemiev got 11th. Good for him. Yeah, I hope he's in some more super tournaments soon. Wow, but he lost rating. Oh my gosh. So very interesting. Cool. Anyways, that's the chess no, that's the workers' rights desk segment. Sorry, I'm getting confused because sometimes there's some weird overlap there. So the workers' rights, he's advocating for his rights. He's saying, hey, why don't you? That's a good way to do it. He did it in a smart way. He said, is there a technical reason to not be doing this? If you're advocating for yourself at work, that's a smart way to do it. If your boss has you doing something incredibly stupid and pointless, instead of being like, this is incredibly stupid and pointless, being like, is there a technical reason why we're doing this in such an incredibly stupid and pointless way? Because you're giving them the benefit of the doubt. You're saying there could be a reason why there must be a reason why you've made such a stupid fucking decision, boss. And I work for myself, so I'm not trying to insult my boss because that's me. Or the insurance companies, depending on how you look at it. We have another workers' rights desk item. This is Timberwolves' Rudy Gobert questionable for Game 2 after first child born. So that's a nice workers' rights win. Minnesota Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert is questionable for Monday's Game 2, and this was almost a full week ago, but for personal reasons after becoming a father for the first time. So workers have that right. When you've become a father for the first time, and you must be a father, and it must be the first time, you are allowed to miss 1 day of work. And that is something I stand by. I don't care what anyone says. So thank you for listening to the Workers' Rights Desk segment. Next up is the Fantasy Desk. So I'm in a fantasy baseball league. And unfortunately, I have bad news today, people. I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose this matchup. There's no way to come back. I am way too behind. I'm 70 or 80 points behind on the last day. It is impossible to catch up. I'd need all my players to basically get a grand slam and my pitchers to throw perfect games. Basically, I was losing and losing all week, and then I just got iced to hell yesterday. I just got crushed. I put in Christian Javier, who was fresh off the injured list. He is, he's a great pitcher for the Astros, and he just threw a horrible game and got negative 19 points or something, negative 20 points, I think, which is insanely bad because usually they take a pitcher out. I don't know why they left him in so long, or maybe it wasn't even that long. But anyways, so that really iced me out, and then I also had one of my players benched who got like 12 points. Is it Randy? Or Rosarena, I forget his first name. He's an amazing player, super exciting on Tampa Bay. Okay, next up. So anyways, I'll be back at it next week. I'll be 5-2. I'll be probably tied for first in the league. But, first, whatever. It'll be fine. Social media desk. Oh, fuck. I don't have time to talk about this week. I actually don't have time to talk about this. How long have we been going right now? Awesome. Okay, yeah. This is quite a long episode already. Usually episodes are like 50 minutes. So this, like a therapy session. So this is therapy session is like 53 minutes actually, technically. But, this is, and it could be different. It doesn't always have to be the same. That's just like a billing thing. This is this is interesting because this is perfect. So I'm doing a surprise public episode, obviously. And this is perfect for the surprise public episode because now I have something to entice you to sign up. Because next week we'll be back to private. We'll probably do a public every month or so. So, feel free if you don't have $1 or anything, and I didn't mean it in that way. I didn't mean it in that way. I meant I'm being genuine. If you don't have $1 and you don't want to give me money, maybe you have money, maybe you have a lot of money. You're like, I don't want to give this guy money. I'm genuinely worried about giving this guy money. But if you'd like to, next week, the social media desk has a huge story. This is like going to be the main story of the week because it's, or unless something else comes up, because it's so funny. I basically finally took a step of advocating for an issue I care about on a social media platform. And it went, let's just say it went very interestingly. Okay, so we'll be talking about that next week. You know what? I'm going to take that out of the social media desk and bring it to the main segment. Is that going to be a desk? No. Main segment. If it's not a desk, what should it be? By the way, I cleaned off my desk. That's actually funny. Yesterday I was cleaning my apartment, as I mentioned, and I cleaned my desk finally. Sometimes I don't know. It's not that it was dirty. I just have had a lot of books stacked on it that I would use to like elevate the things I was plugging into my computer so the wires wouldn't bend in a weird way. But I found a different way to do it, and I found a way to elevate my computer less and still be comfortable. Anyways, this is not important, but my desk is super clean, so that's nice. Main segment is now going to be its own thing. I don't think it's going to be a desk. I'm gonna make a segment. It's called the main segment. Is that? I feel like I'm trying to. What am I trying to say? The main segment. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. So it's gonna be a segment where we talk about the main segment. And yeah, that'll be really fun. That'll be exciting. So feel free to sign up if you want. We also have the biography desk, but there's nothing to talk about. I'm not reading a biography at the moment, so I don't have anything to talk about there. And then before we finish up, we actually have the Reginald desk. So last episode Reginald took over. I don't know if we let him take over, but he totally took over. So that's something, if you don't listen to the podcast and you're just, getting this public episode, you might not realize that. But last episode, Reginald the Data Guy took over completely, and it was this data themed episode. So I don't know if people enjoyed it. We're about to have the Mailbag segment, so maybe people wrote in. But it was interesting. But we basically, we were forced to sort of incorporate Reginald now into the desk section, the desks section. We sort of had to bring him in. Basically, he's getting more and more ingrained. I think that the fans are huge about Reginald, so we're like having to kind of bring him more and more in. But yeah, he made it into the desks section actually. But good news is, through extensive union negotiations, I did secure that for the Reginald desk segment, and yes, it does need to be referred to as that, as that. It's the Reginald desk segment. It's not the Reginald desk segment. It's the Reginald desk segment. I lost that battle in negotiations, but for this first the Reginald desk segment, Reginald has been sort of forced to blend in a sports desk quality to his desk segment just for the first one, so we could have a sports desk, sort of the Reginald desk. It's sort of like the Reginald desk X sports desk, if you've ever seen that sort of branding. And so, yeah, Reginald, what do you got for us? Okay, Reginald said the Dodgers, the baseball team, have like 3 of the top 5 home run hitters. You said like 3 of the top 5? Okay. You don't want to... Usually you would know the... Okay. And then you said, but none of the top 5 RBI hitters. Okay. That's interesting. So the Dodgers have like 3 of the top 5 home run hitters right now, but none of the top 5 RBI hitters, RBI being a run batted in. So you would think home run, often run batted in. That is interesting, Reginald. It would be good if you knew if it was definitely 3 of the top 5. But okay, you're saying like 3 of the top 5. Okay. But I think he's mad. I think he's mad about the way I introduced a desk segment. Between you and me, listener, I think he's mad about the way I introduced a desk segment. But yeah, that is, that's hold on 1 second. He's very mad. It's okay, man. Yeah. No, it's fine. No one's mad at you, dude. They think you're being kind of emotional about it. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. So anyways, yeah, that's interesting about home runs and runs batted in. Okay, so last up, we're going to finish up with the mailbag segment. So you can write into verbaljournalpodcast@gmail.com if you would like to communicate with the podcast representatives here. So let's see if anyone wrote into Verbal Journal Podcast. Nope. Okay, so we're done with the episode. And thank you so much for listening. It's been great doing this surprise public episode. And feel free to, support the channel and follow to listen to the previous 62 episodes, or 60, because 2 of them are public, and the next one. So I had a great day and doing this. It wasn't all day. I had a great time doing this. Oh, is that synchronicity? No. Damn, I could almost make that about synchronicity. Okay, time to go. Bye.
This is a podcast or